today's video, I'm gonna go over the Upwork algorithm. If you're currently getting zero leads, zero income, zero results on Upwork, I'm about to show you how I cracked the algorithm, which allowed me to sign high-ticket deals on demand, not only for myself, but also for my clients. Now, you're probably thinking, why should I listen to this guy? Well, I started out using Upwork for myself to generate over 40,000 in earnings on the platform and a little over 50,000 in total. That out the way, let's just get right into it. So first up is profile optimization. Profile optimization isn't as simple as slapping on a professional photo that catches your eye. It's more of a science. It's about mastering the right keywords, zoning in on your niche, and truly showcasing what sets you apart. So you may as well forget about your dreams of grandeur on Upwork if you haven't mastered this. Because what I'd often like to teach when starting out with any form of Upwork outreach is the fact that profile is the very first thing that you see on anything. So before the client makes a decision, you actually have to present your profile first, so it has to be presented in a way that's enticing for them to even move forward. So this can very well be the differentiator between signing a high ticket job versus signing a low ticket job. And a simple way to get a better understanding of what exactly you need to look for, as well as how to optimize your profile, is in video that I made here on Upwork profile optimization. So if you don't get that step first, then everything else that I'm about to go over will not make any sense. So moving on, let's talk about response times. So I can't stress this enough. If you're taking a day or two to get back to clients, you're leaving money on the table. Aim for a 60-minute window. You're interacting with CEOs, founders, CTOs, CFOs, etc. And I promise you, they don't have nearly as much time as you think they should or do. So you have to understand that it's annoying not only for you, but also to the prospect. Them being in decision-making positions makes it even worse on their side in terms of how much of an annoyance it actually is. So rather than doing the whole back and forth, as soon as they respond to you or your message, you need to be acknowledging and responding within a 60-minute time frame for optimal results. And that way, you actually have leverage in the conversation. You can lead the conversation in any matter or in any direction that you actually want by taking the reins within 60 minutes of them actually responding. So oftentimes what I do for myself and my clients is I steer them in the direction of a meeting, because again, nobody likes back and forth. I don't want to be in messages where certain terms or words are sensitive to guidelines on Upwork TOS. I prefer to have a call, then discuss everything in detail there. So that leaves little to no room for miscommunication, as well as fostering a better relationship. Because another aspect that I speak of fondly in a profile optimization video is that there's a personal aspect towards it. So it's why the video introduction on your profile is as potent as it is. People want face to put towards the brand. Now you have your profile picture in the top left of your profile, but anybody can look great in a picture. It doesn't really hold as much weight or carry as much weight as seeing someone, their body language, just completely different. So it's why getting on a call is much more potent than it would be to go back and forth through messages. It saves a lot of time on your side as well as on the prospect side. So try to keep the response time within 60 minutes and then push for a call immediately. You don't have to be pushy. You can simply say something like, hey Nate, would you be interested in discussing this further on a call? And then you can link your Zoom, or you can use Upwork's built-in scheduler to take care of it. So next up is consistency and quality. So it's not necessarily about sending out a ton of proposals. It's more about quality, consistency, and volume. If you get the balance right, then you're already on the path to success. Now, there are three cases on Upwork. You can categorize them as three extremes. So it's either one, you have the financial capacity to be sending out intense volume on the platform. I'd say anywhere between 15 to 20 plus proposals means that you're sending decent volume. But the flip side to that is not being able to send out volume and instead focusing entirely on quality. Now, you would argue that it makes no sense in sending out volume if it's not quality volume. But I've been on both sides of this extreme and both have their merits. So instead of doing volume, the other end of the extreme would be incredibly personalized proposals, but of course not at the same frequency which you'd send mass volume. And then consistency is more of an abstract term in the sense that it's not part of the extreme, it's a necessity if you want to see success. So having both quality and volume in addition to consistency, which is more of a passive trait. So quality and volume is the ideal that you want to start out with. but oftentimes there is a lot of volume that's being sent, but not necessarily the time to be able to do it consistently, which is why consistency is passive factor. So on the other end is quality. Now, quality is something that people oftentimes say is better than quantity, but in this case, it's hard to justify. You can send 5 to 7 quality proposals per day, which is fine and all if you're a freelancer, but if you're an agency owner that's looking to scale their lead generation using Upwork, 5 to 7 a day is simply not enough, because you're competing with too many other freelancers and agency owners, and more than likely your profile is fresh. So that's why there needs to be a balance, which is the third extreme. So having both quality and volume in order to go forward there. Now, consistency being a passive factor in all of this is what really ties it all together. So ideally, you want to have consistency, quality, and volume in order to really scale your agencies on Upwork. As a freelancer, quality and consistency might be better for you if you aren't able to supplement it with volume. But again, having all three is the best trifecta. Now, strategic bidding. So it's not a race to the bottom. Clients don't always go for the lowest bid. It's all about the value you bring to the table. So strategize your bids and always position yourself as the best. Now, I see people do this incredibly often, where they think that just because their prices are super low, clients will always opt for them, when it's simply not the case. So what you want actually to strike that balance once again is you want to, in consideration of what your competitors are charging, you want to be able to juxtapose it. So compare and contrast, and then set your rates or your bidding based on that data that you've got. So when I say strategic bidding, it's not necessarily just applying to these proposals, it's also positioning yourself as an expert and avoiding projects that won't necessarily be great for your development on the platform. So on Upwork, the bidding feature, which they recently implemented alongside the boosting feature for the profile, which at the time of this recording, I believe they just released. These are both things that will supplement your proposals and profile. It won't make a bad profile good by any means necessary. All it does is provide visibility. So you don't necessarily have to boost every single profile and proposal, especially if you know it isn't great. If you know your results aren't good enough for the job, or that your proposals aren't strong enough in comparison to other proposals on the platform, which you can be privy to based on creating your own client account and seeing what's out there. But I digress. If you know that it isn't up to par or up to scratch, then you're merely wasting connects that could be pulled into other higher quality projects. So strategize your bids and always position yourself as the best choice. No matter how much you boost profile or proposal, it won't turn your shit into gold. And then lastly is power of storytelling. So weaving a personal narrative in your proposals makes you memorable, and it's a secret sauce of the most successful Upwork freelancers. Now, I'm not telling you to go and do an entire anecdote. What I'm telling you is to set yourself apart from the rest of the competition using your unique story and experiences. So no one person is the same. It's important that I underscore this, because everybody's trying to use the same proposal templates, cover letter hacks, all of what's already out there on YouTube, and that won't help you. All it does is make it that much easier for the people that are actually giving these proposals out, because then all they need to do to stand apart is make an entirely new one with the knowledge that they've gathered over years of sending out proposals or cover letters, whatever you want to refer to it. So what they do is they lean into their ability to relate to situations through their experience mostly, but apart from that, their expertise on the topic. So you're losing out on so many jobs that you apply for simply because you don't understand that the most potent aspect of your entire being is the fact that you have unique experiences. And this doesn't just go for creating Upwork proposals or cover letters, but also in creating content. So you need to lean into what makes you in order to really differentiate yourself from competitors. You might have the same amount of experience in terms of years, quantifiable experience, but chances are you've all worked on different projects in different capacities and produced different results. Your unique insights might make all the difference between this project being a complete success for the client versus a complete failure. And both those scenarios, or the consequence of that experience of those experiences will in turn be what makes you a success on the platform or not. So lean more into the power of storytelling. There are several books that you can consult on this, anything copywriting related. And I'm once again going to underscore the fact, because I spoke about skills and niches on Upwork, another video here, copywriting is always going to be something that will benefit you. So I'm going to call it there. But before you go, if you're an agency owner and you're looking to book an additional 5 to 10 qualified sales calls every month using Upwork, then click the link below in the description and we can have a 30-minute growth analysis call where we'd go over whether we'd be a good fit to work together or not. If you want more of these insights, hit the subscribe button, share your thoughts in the comments, and check out some of my other videos here.